We are back with a Fox News alert. The DOJ putting out an arrest warrant for this man, Jose Inez Garcia Zarate, the illegal immigrant who was deported 5 times and acquitted this week in the Gt Steinle case.
This hitting close to home for our next guest, whose 17-year-old son was killed by an illegal immigrant in Los Angeles in 2008. Jamil Shaw Sr. joins us now with his reaction. Jamil, so your reaction to this verdict, for a lot of people, it's academic. For you, it's personal.
Yeah.
What was your reaction?
You know, it was, I expected it. I remember telling people, he's going to walk. They're going to, you know, they're going to make him a sacrificial lamb, so to speak. He's going to be the one that so-called takes down Trump. That's all they cared about. So I figured it. I talked about it on my show. I wasn't surprised. When I heard about it, I was driving down the street. I heard it on the radio. I just figured that was, you know, was going to happen. But still, that, you know, it pissed me off, though. It's not like I was no big deal. You know, it pissed me off how they don't care about us. And this guy, piece of garbage, they act like he's just so innocent, and Gt Steinle's family is mourning forever.
Jamil, tell us a little bit more about your son.
He was a good kid, you know. He was doing everything he was supposed to do, you know. When he was 5 years old, I started working with him in sports. I was determined to get him a scholarship. We played baseball, basketball, football, 2 baseball seasons a year, winter, summer, 2 basketball seasons, played football, ran track. We were playing golf. I was trying everything. I just was determined that I had to get him to college. And, you know, I had to get him to the promised land. 18 was my goal. I got him to 17 in 2 months.
It's such a tragic...
And to see him just all that hard work. Yeah,
it's such a tragic story. And there's so many other families. I mean, this is what we're learning about. Let's take a look at, I want you to take a look at this clip from last night from Reverend Ryan Eller, the executive director of Define American. Let's take a look at this clip.
I think where we start getting into really troubled waters is when we, you know, talk more about sanctuary cities and relationships between local governments and federal governments, and somehow make this more about immigrants and immigration as opposed to this really tragic and unfortunate case. In Leviticus, it says, treat the immigrant as a citizen among you. I pay my taxes as a citizen to my local government to protect local taxpayers, and those taxpayers include undocumented Americans.
Okay, so Jamil, he's citing Leviticus, which I get it, but ultimately you're saying legal status matters.
Of course it does, and he knows that. That's why he's running, talking that mumbo jumbo. Just because he has on his collar, he thinks that he's an expert. They always want you to walk a mile in their shoes. Why don't they walk a mile in our shoes? How about he gets in a casket, we'll bury him for a while so he could see what it feels like to be dead, you know? You think it's all good that we're so, you know, I don't care about illegal aliens, you know. My son was murdered. He was walking down the street in America. He actually thought he could do that, and he was wrong. He was shot dead by an illegal alien on his 3rd gun charge. And then we hear people like that want us to turn the other cheek. I mean, why do we have laws? We got illegal aliens in the gangs. We're on their 3rd gun charge, you know, and then we're supposed to just be okay with our family members being dead? You know, why don't he jump in the casket and see what it feel like?
Incredibly powerful. You're saying so much of this is also resistance to Trump.
Oh, yeah, that was the main thing, you know. I mean, the people down there on the jury, they were all activists, you know, left-wing nut jobs, you know. You got the prosecutors. They did us the same way, Pete, when we were in L.A. Did the same thing, but I wouldn't go for it. We had to get rid of 2 prosecutors. We had to change judges. I had to pretty much say, I'll burn the city down if you guys don't try to do that. They did the exact same thing with Gt Steinle, but they couldn't get away with it because the district attorney was a conservative.
And you did get a death penalty for him. Jamil, your story is powerful. We're so grateful that you're telling it. It's such an important time. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.